All right, we're recording now, sis. I had so much to say, and I was practicing all of this stuff in my head, as I was getting ready for this important, very important meeting that I am honored and proud to be a part of, and that is this human rights movement. And I hate even calling it a movement. It's human rights. It's not a movement. This is a way of life. This is the liberty and the pursuit of happiness for human beings that for some reason people don't want us to have. And I understand the reasons why. But what I don't understand is when our own people don't want it. And so that's my biggest fight right now. I think I'm very vocal about that. We can go nowhere with snakes at our feet and knives at our back.
That's true.
Simply because we're trying to save our own.
Hold tight.
And I'm going to continue. She's on mute at this point, but I'm going to continue because, and by the way, I want to say, this is my sea moss water that I drink. The sea moss water that I drink, it has, let's see, what did I do this with? I do simple juice, organic juice of any kind. I like white grape juice. And I put in it a bit of concentrated cranberry juice. Good for the female health. And then I added sea moss. And you can add a little bit of alkaline water to it. The minerals are already there with the sea moss, but the alkaline water just increases it. It's delicious. I took a hand whisk, and because I can't stir anymore really with this hand, so I bought it, make it easier anyway. I bought a hand whisk, and it's a little button. It's you plug it in and you whisk, and it stirs everything up like a little whisk, electrically. And then I just drink, and it's delicious. So this is my sea moss water that I drink. Or juice. My sea moss juice is a mixture. And this is why I have my website, Lily's Elixirs. So go check out that website. Yeah, I'm gonna plug myself because I'm doing this zone. Hey. But that's not the most important thing. And I do that because I have to live too. That's right. And I also want to tout that living, the best way to do that is to take care of yourself, your health, your wealth. That's all you have. When you feed your mind, the pineal gland that you have can function. And this is something they don't want you to do. So cleanse your system often. I like to eat pears. The sweeter, the better. Box pears are great. A good source of vitamin C at this time of year. People don't realize that fresh fruits are everything.
Well, Sister Lily, I have to order me some of your sea moss because I do need some sea moss. And when I order it from you, I want you to, give me some good ideas of how I should prepare it. I do understand it has, I'm not a person that likes to drink anything that don't smell right. However, the benefits are tremendous, and I know I have some.
Let me plug you in on that too. Okay. Many people don't know how to prepare sea moss. I was trained. But I also went and did a simple video. It's not hard to do. I'm not trying to corner the market. My sea moss is not exorbitant priced because I really did this because I wanted to heal myself and my family. And I thought, why not give it to the rest of the people who got sense enough to understand what this stuff does for you and stop relying on pharmaceutical stuff. We got to get the red meat out of our systems. They're not telling us how to heal ourselves. They're telling us how to keep ourselves sick. We all know this, but we still participate. Yeah. An addiction to this culture, an addiction to this lifestyle going on. And people get angry. It's just like religion. They get angry if you try to take it away from them. So I will definitely show you some great things. My sea moss does not smell bad nor taste bad. I know that smell you're talking about. Smell like a lady need to go to the doctor. I understand exactly what you're talking about. I don't have those issues with my stuff. And that's why my moss is so popular. I'm also starting a line with collaboration with Chloe's Hearts. I'm gonna plug her. A small Black business here, and she's got a makeup cosmetic moisturizer. I don't do makeup, but I just buy other people's stuff and let them do it for me. But Chloe,
so who made that piece? I see you have that ankh on your hand. Who made your ring? Who made that piece?
These are pieces from Chloe's Hearts. And
Oh, okay.
I'll have to plug her. I don't know how to spell it, but it starts with a Q. Her name on her business name, and I'll have to plug her in this, is QLOE, and it's Hearts, HARTZ.
Okay.
So look her up. She's amazing. Her energy.
I like those two
amazing.
pieces. I like those two pieces. I love those.
Thank you.
Love those.
I will definitely let her know. She actually is on her way here, so she might run up on us in the middle of this live. So if that happens, y'all gonna have to excuse me while I go in and introduce her in. Yeah. Okay. So we're collabing on this moisturizer with clay. As we know, clay dirt is very high in minerals. Yes. So the makeup will be with the moisturizer. I keep saying makeup. The moisturizer will be with the clay that she herself harvested. Okay. So she's got pure clay, harvested with her energy, and then this sea moss water. And so we're going to put those things together. And speaking of Chloe, she is calling me as we speak. Sister Chloe.
Hey.
Where are you? Still home?
You on your live already?
We're on the live, and I just plugged you. It's not a live yet. Actually, I didn't go live. I'm supposed to be live simulcasting, so I guess I'll start that live simulcast now. But you're in the Zoom. Anyway, you on your way?
Yes.
All righty. Well, you'll probably get here in the middle of the broadcast. Come on.
I locked it up.
All right. Well, take your time, my sister. Peace. We have a business venture otherwise outside.
Hey, make that money, girl. Make that money.
So,
that's
self-employment is the way to go. And that's what I really wanted to plug. So everybody is right about the Black business, the group economics. This is how we're able to maintain. And because the Black business owners in Houston, they popping. They popping. They doing well. But we have to defend it, because they will find a way to take it all from us once again.
That's right.
What they do. Give me just a second here. This is not the device I want to use to go live. I want to use this device.
Oh, so we're not live right now?
Not on the Facebook.
Okay.
So, yeah, that gave us a chance. We did a bunch of power, but the Zoom is there. And that's the good part, because they'll have to see the Zoom in order to see the best stuff.
That's right, the best stuff.
Yeah, so that's okay. I didn't go live yet. Hang on.
Okay.
And let's see, I need to. Yeah, I wasn't ready. Hang on.
Girls.
All right, here we go. Now I'm ready. All right.
Salute.
And we are live.
All right then.
So, some people had asked me to tag them. So I'm going to try and do that as well. I'm going to plug my sea moss water one more time. Again,
yes, indeed.
It's made with, I use just regular old, juice, organic juice. I prefer white grape juice. It tastes really good. I use a splash of concentrated, unsweetened cranberry juice, good for the woman's body parts. And then my sea moss water, the moss itself. I use not the water. I use the moss itself, and I use the whisk, a hand whisk, an electric one. Stirred it. It's delicious. Has no nasty taste at all, because my moss doesn't taste bad from the gate. I remove that taste. So that's something that Sister Elena Porter and I have just been talking about. Also, we're talking about Chloe. She may show up, she may not. It's cool. We have business ventures, but I want to talk about the human rights efforts that have been going on. And I want to welcome to this live video, Sister Elena Porter. She has been instrumental in helping us to get this information out, and at great risk to her own family, health, safety. As you know, Brother Grandmaster Jay was picked up for, they claimed he aimed his weapon at an officer, and then they placed some other charges. Hi, welcome to my live. I see there's one that has plugged in. I want to see how I can make you known. I can't see who's plugged in, so say something so that I can see who's plugged in. Anyway, the things that are happening at a very rapid rate. People
Yes.
don't realize how fast this is coming on us. And we all know that something's wrong. We all know that something's very, very wrong. So rather than panic, inform yourself. I'm bringing to the stage on a Zoom video, Sister Elena Porter.
Thank you so much, Sister Lily, for that introduction. It's always a joy to work with you, speak with you. You've been very instrumental in bringing a lot of information to the forefront. And you are correct. We are not safe. There are a lot of things happening in the background concerning U.S. Afro descendants that we all need to be aware of. We are not safe here in the United States at all.
Correct.
We have been in a genocidal condition since 1865.
Hang on one second. I want to ask my live people, can you hear her speaking? I know you can't see her. You can only see me, but this is a Zoom. Now it's being simulcast, and because we've had so many problems getting the word out, I am going to do this live. If you would like to hear this, this entire Zoom, because there was stuff before this. If you want to hear us, the powwow, it'll be on my page. It'll be on my YouTube. And so from there, I'll finish. But let me know if you can hear me, or you can hear Sister Elena, because I know you can't see her. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue, Sister Elena.
Anyway, Sister, we're not safe here in the United States. Again, I can't continue to stress the dangers that we have. We're on the cusp of another mass atrocity at any time. We have exceeded all of the factors the indicators that as a marginalized group, any mass atrocity could occur at any time. So one way to combat a mass atrocity is information. Our people are very misinformed. We have a lot of puppet leadership who has been monetizing liberation for a moment. And, it's just not right. It's not safe.
What do you mean by monetizing liberation?
One moment.
Okay, because see, we do this with the family. They have to make room for us to do this. And so many people have given up because they would rather deal with their families. Me personally, I haven't given up on my people. And for the main reason, my reasons for doing this are very selfish, because I have descendants. I have children that people are going to continue on beyond me. And this ain't the world I want to see them in. And I know that my ancestors said the same thing during their enslavement. We're still enslaved.
That's
it's a
right.
different type. But, and that's been done to us. We've been conditioned for that. But continue, sis, go ahead.
Well, as I stated, we're not safe. The reason we're not safe is because we are a dependent, colonized people, okay? We're living up under the policy of apartheid. Yep. And the condition of belligerent occupancy.
That is correct.
And let me explain
occupancy.
Let me explain belligerent occupancy. Belligerent occupancy is a condition after a invasion, after a war, after a how can I put it? After a people has been conquered, okay? And conquered people have rights up under international and human rights law. Even in 1865, we had a right to return back to Africa for those of our ancestors who indeed came from Africa, for those of our ancestors who were Aboriginal people, and the first slave trade occurred with Aboriginal people.
In
I
what
want to
years?
make that perfectly clear.
How was it in 1619 or when? When was
No,
that?
it was way before then.
Say
It started,
that's the part. People, you buy into what you see in the media, and this woman who wrote that information on 1619, I mean, that wasn't real. It wasn't true. Continue. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to reiterate. I want you to stay on that for a minute. It was before
okay.
that.
Well, let me go back to it. Our ancestors were seafaring people. Okay, they traveled from Africa, and then we had seafaring people who are part of the phenotype of Australoid and Melanesian phenotype people. They were seafaring people. They knew longitude, they knew latitude. As a matter of fact, in the 1400s, it was Moors who brought the Europeans here.
That's right. Moors.
Let's be perfectly clear.
That's
See,
right.
You have to be perfectly clear on whose identity you're assuming and carrying on.
That's right. The Moors brought the Europeans.
And they also participated in the slave trade. That's right. And they also participated in the slave trade as well.
They did.
So let us be perfectly clear that people were here in the United States before Europeans got here. They had nations and they had civilizations. And we are part of those people. They make up part of our identity. That's what makes us indigenous to the land here. That's what establishes our property rights. Now, let me roll.
They don't want you to know.
That's the truth. They don't want you to know. Now, let me move on to 1865. In 1865, after the Civil War, our ancestors had a right to return back to Africa. Those who were from Africa, they had a right, those who were from here in the United States, they had a right to repatriate back to their settlements and their territories here in the United States.
That's right.
Okay. And those are some of the things that the Pendo Center is doing research on right now, so we can establish our property rights. And when I say property rights, I'm talking about our cultural rights, cultural property, biological property, our real property, and our land rights. Okay? Right. Your identity is key in all of those rights.
That's right. That's right. Your identity. Who are you? When she said, be careful who you associate yourself with. Who are you? Who are your family? I spoke to a lady on Facebook, and we talked about, she didn't even know. She was driving by this place down in Louisiana, and it was baffling her because she kept passing the same sign over and over. There are signs and wonders. And come to find out, that's her original people. And they go all the way back to 1300 BC in Poverty Point, Louisiana, as well as mine do.
We are a mixture. We are what you call an autochthonous indigenous people.
That's right.
We are African. Let me be perfectly clear. We cannot deny our African heritage. However, our ancestors traveled here in phases.
That's right.
The last wave of Africans that came here came through the transatlantic slave trade.
Okay. I think they're still coming. Honestly, that's not the last wave. They're still coming.
Well, they're still coming, but I'm saying
we've been traversing this long before Europeans existed.
That's right. That's right.
We've always been here.
Always been here. And that has a legal, economic, and a political connotation to it. Now, we're going to move till after World War I, when the United States signed a treaty with the United Nations. We were supposed to have been placed on what you call a non-self-governing list. And what that would have done was pulled us out of the jurisdiction. Hold tight. I have two granddaughters that's standing here.
Go right ahead. I'm listening because I've heard these things before, but no matter how many times you hear it, no matter how many times she says it, you'll hear something new. So it's like important to study.
Now, after World War I, after World War II, when the United States signed a treaty with the United Nations. They stated that they would transmit all of their colonized peoples, non-self-governing people, which is code word for colonized, conquered people,
Conquered people,
to the UN Secretary General, I believe it is. That's what they were supposed to transmit that information to. And what that would have done was pulled all of our territories, all of our areas out of the domestic jurisdiction and into the international jurisdiction, where we would have had the right to self-govern, right to self-determination, right to petition our areas, an economic petition, a political petition, and a legal petition. Okay? But our elders and ancestors, some ancestors, were manipulated by puppet leadership.
Bob, say that again. Say that.
Manipulated by strategically placed Negroes.
Thank you.
Puppet leadership.
Puppet leadership.
To settle for integration, to fight for integration when there was alternatives after World War II. Now, we have a lot of people who at that time were in the military, like the great attorney, I believe his name was Robert Brock. We have Robert Williams, who know these things. We have a lot of our leaders back in that time who were Black nationalists, who knew that there was an international method that we could use to change our conditions here in the United States. Malcolm X also knew. Malcolm X actually was putting us in the position to actually realize self-determination. That's why they had to kill him.
Say that. Wait. Stop right there. Give me 1 second here.
Yes, ma'am.
Do something. I think I need to clean my screen. Brother Jabal is here, and he said, "Why does the screen look like that?" So I don't know, Brother Jabal. Let me clean my screen. No telling, I do a lot of stuff. Hey,
Sister Lily, that's why I love you, because you keep it real.
I mean, we doing this the way we can. I don't have Michi X's set up. Michi X is my girl, but I don't have her set up. I ain't where she is.
That's right.
I'm so glad that she there. Because I'm so happy that she tells the dadgum truth and ain't scared of who know. Because you understand, we got more, I keep telling people, we got more soldiers out there than the ones you think of.
That's right.
We got street soldiers. They tried and true warriors.
That's
and
right.
all of them ain't crazy.
That's right. That's true. That's true. But even Malcolm X, he was headed in that direction.
Yes.
He was headed in that direction. He was headed in the direction to taking the United States to the United Nations and have them charged with crimes against humanity and get immediate reparations and file the proper paperwork so we can declare our own nation. Right. That's why he was murdered.
That's right.
And you know what? The reason why he ended up killed was because we had strategically placed Negroes, and you're seeing it with Brother Jay all over.
Look at my Facebook page when I tell you
it's being done all over again.
Black people.
It was his own kind, Malcolm's own kind.
Problems with our own people getting free. Nat Turner had the right idea. I'm not saying you need to kill anybody. Black people get weird when you say you need to kill other Black people, but other Black people ain't got no problem killing you. So I don't understand that logic. For me, the first person that taught me that fell out with me about it. There is balance, baby.
But you know, Sister Lily, it's called fratricide.
Oh,
it's a mental issue.
They're trying to kill you. You survive by any means necessary. Keep talking, sis. I'm sorry. I get emotional.
I know. It makes me emotional sometimes too.
Reservation that. Why are you gonna lay down and die? What is that? That's the first rule of nature.
But you know, we've been trained through the public food system that we're supposed to take anything laying down. It's supposed to be acceptable to kill us in the streets. We deserve that. It's acceptable to keep us up under a policy, a paternalistic policy of dependency instead of development and self-determination.
What you just said disgusts me.
It should.
What you just said disgusts me.
It should.
And it's true.
It should discuss you. It should discuss us all, because if we don't move right now and take control legally and politically and do what it is that we need to do.
And sometimes that means physically. You can't allow someone to come in on you.
That's right.
And stick a needle in your arm. Or I mean, the military is supposed to come in and do the vaccinations. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna dress them all. They still be military. They just dress them all up in white, and then people won't feel bad. They just mind screw us all the time. I'm trying not to cuss out.
You know, I want to get back to Malcolm, talking about what happened in the 60s. I want to walk it down to everybody. We had strategically placed Negroes in high places that promoted integration, that ate off of masters' plates, and some of those Negroes are still hanging around right now. And they are the reason we are in the condition that we're in. The condition that we're in: permanent poverty, permanent exclusion, apartheid, masked in colorblind language and colorblind policies. But when you pull the numbers and you do the statistics, we haven't moved 1 inch since 1865, and that's by design.
That's true.
We have no way of protecting ourselves, no way of protecting our children, no way of protecting our grandchildren. And when we do, and somebody do step up and stand up, it's Negroes that look like you and in high places.
I watched the video, and I'm gonna share it again. A man sent me Dr. Barbara Sizemore, I think is her name, who spoke on that very issue. We got Negroes in the school system saying, no, let's integrate.
Oh no.
Let's let them.
But when your children are in those schools,
give them ADHD medicine and then send them straight on to the penitentiary. Let's do that.
When those children are in those schools, that's where they experience the most racism. That's where they experience, and they've been put at risk at behavioral science and different type of experimentations.
Where they doing this at?
Okay.
What schools are they doing?
In the schools, all of them when it comes to Black children.
Black schools.
Well, we're the majority population. The schools are rotten.
I know. I sent my
children. And that's by design.
I've been to both.
That's by design. That's where the brainwashing starts.
Excuse me, sis. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You talking?
I'm talking. So at some point, when are we going to stand up and say, enough is enough? Now we have different people, different movements where we're trying to assert our human rights. Some of us want to practice internal sovereignty, establish a nation here on the soil of the United States. Some of us want to practice external sovereignty. That means go somewhere else and erect a state. We can do that too. It's called self-determination.
Yes. That's
our human right.
Yes.
We're not doing anything outside the box that normal people in our situation would not do.
Anything wrong.
We're colonized. We don't have a means to take care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're dependent on the very people that relegated us to property.
But we don't.
To treat us right. We're waiting on them in their good graces. And the sad thing about it is, when we finally get people to stand up and we finally get potential leaders who can do the right thing, who has the capacity to make the moves.
Right.
You have Negroes out of jealousy, arrogance, and envy that crucify them before they can even get off the ground.
Sound like a Judas to me.
And it's shameful. And that's the reason why we're in the same predicament that we're in.
Yes, Judas is an energy. It is a spirit for those of you who deal in spookism. It is an energy. There are multiple energies, and there are different levels of them.
Oh, yeah.
Play with them all you like. Never disrespect them.
That's right. That's right.
Disrespected. And so that's why you see things happening.
That's right.
Strange things, wonders and signs.
That's right.
Sorry.
You listen, it's always a joy to, to have a powwow with you because you keep it real. And that's one thing that we haven't been doing. We haven't been keeping it real.
No.
Since 1865, since 1965, since 1975, 2005, we have not kept it real
For generations.
About where we are.
We've been asleep.
If we don't make a move now, we're handing our grandchildren to a slaughterhouse.
Woo.
If we don't make a move now, who's to say by next week we won't be in a slaughterhouse? How can we protect ourselves?
I'm beginning to think that many of us don't care. And
well, if they don't care, then they need to step aside and let the ones who do move.
Yes, sis, but there's too many of them that are so opportunistic, they're selling their own children. If you look at those women who offer their own children to that R. Kelly pedophile ring, that's for the sake of clout, for money, for fame, for something to talk about.
And they should have went to jail too. Those parents that handed their children over to the quote unquote pedophile, they should be rotting it right there with R. Kelly too.
With her child. You don't ill prepare. You the first teacher.
That's right.
So something's wrong with the women too. And
that's
you
right.
men, y'all get mad at me because I say what needs to happen with men. But the only thing I can speak, I talk to men a lot. I like men, you understand? So I've never really dated women, okay? But I've dated a lot of men, all right? And I can tell you how you behave from the outside looking in, and some of you don't like it, and that's fine. And I would absolutely love it for you to give me some criticism out of love, but not out of jealousy, because I feel those energies, okay? And not out of that other shit, that desire that you come at folk with. Anyway, I digress. Sis, keep talking. I digress.
But at some point,
a bunch of men on it. Keep talking.
At some point, as a people, we're going to have a coming to Jesus moment and make some serious political decisions. If we're tired of being murdered in droves by the police, the answer to that is to practice internal sovereignty and establish protected areas that we control. If we want to stop experiencing the poverty that we experience, we're going to have to move politically and erect a nation state internally or externally.
Now, when you say
unify.
Internally, or say that you said three things: internally, externally, and what? Internally
or externally, and we have to unify.
And unify. Now, when you say internally and externally, let's describe that. Let's see. Let's talk about, because the last time that we attempted to do a live video on Facebook with Sister Aisha Shaheed, which is a wonderful sister. I don't think it was her fault. I think it was Facebook that didn't want it to happen. So it's just me here. Nobody's here with me, all by myself. That's what y'all want. And you don't want anybody to see this information. That's fine. I can do my own stuff. And I'm sorry, them folks know who I'm talking about. The Facebook people, the ones who sit in the corner and jerk off watching, the liberation movement. You guys are getting a kick out of this. I understand that, but you're also very frightened because yes, this kind of stuff because you have founded this country on enslavement, because this country is founded on the death and destruction of our people, yes, you sit very comfortably. But when that starts to shake, then, you know, when you're faced with not having an easy life anymore because we're going to break free from it, liberation doesn't always sound so good to you. You like the idea, but you don't want to suffer the repercussions of such a move. So I apologize to you for that. You might not have to deal with it for much longer. I understand that you won't exist in 25 years or so. And I'm just telling you what I've read. The sun doesn't like you. And if you don't, many of you are beginning to, you know, have children with us. I understand, I don't blame you. I want my seed to survive too. I get it, but we ain't gonna make the same mistakes they did in ancient Kemet. We're not gonna do that. You gotta understand the history of our people and what really happened. The information they don't teach you in schools.
That's right.
And so, but I know what happened in ancient Kemet. They don't teach you that those people, we started to mate with these people and intermarry. By the 25th dynasty, the children that were the children of Kemet sold us out. And that's what happened to us. They were our own children. But they don't want you to talk about that. Yeah, the book that Grandmaster Jay was in the middle of reading to you, The Destruction of Black Civilization, I think everybody needs to get that damn book. It's on my next, they closed down all the bookstores around me. Go figure. Go figure. There's prophecy about destroying books. You need to know about that. Anyway, I wanted to break in on that because we're in the live video and discuss that. I see a lot of people are talking. I don't have my glasses on because I'm really on fire, but I will acknowledge you guys here in a moment. I want to, because I don't want to take up too much of Sister Porter's time.
You're good, sis. Anything, you know, to get the information out.
And she has done some, when this is all, I can't wait to tell y'all what she done. This is all, oh my God. When this is all over, y'all gonna be like, that's who she was. I'm like, So, and I'm getting the hearts. I see there are people there who understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. There has been a lot of movement in the background on our behalf over the past several years. However, we need everybody on board. We have to unify. Now, I'm going to explain about internal sovereignty. Internal sovereignty for us is going to look like we control the schools. We have our own government. That representation on a federal, state, or on an international, federal, state, and local level. Have a government that answers to us for our needs and our needs first. Not divvy out all of our resources to this
other people. And you don't have to share this with the poor white women or Latino, or we don't have to share this with Asians or Africans who come here now from another country. They're immigrants. We don't have to share. This is for the people who are the descendants. This is African descendants of this land, the people who are here already, the people who are colonized, who have no land. If you are a termed African American, if you're termed an African American and you have, because see, there are some African people who have claimed African American that are South Africans. I've met them. They're white South Africans and they live in America. So they claim themselves. See, y'all, I know shit. I talk to people. So I see shit that maybe y'all don't see.
But see, Cecilia, no, I'm sorry for calling Cecilia, but see, let me explain this to you.
Not that you gotta be black.
Something to you.
Ninja.
We have a group of Africans and other immigrants that come here. And when they come and they look just like us, just like we got that thing up in the White House, they'll come in and just like Obama.
He wasn't African American.
He wasn't an African American. He was not native to the United States. So he didn't care what happened to us. All skin folk are not our kin folks. That's why this internal sovereignty is very important. Because we have had a lot of even so-called Africans who are not in love with us and who will tell us that to our face. This is true. So we better wake up and smell the coffee. Colonialism is real. We see it every day. But for those who don't know what colonialism looked like, they co-sign on it. You had Negroes that ran to the poll. Oh, we got a first black woman vice president. She don't give a damn whether you or your family live or die. That's an immigrant. She cares less. Let's be perfectly clear.
There's no loyalty for any of these people. Obama had no loyalty to this soil.
He had no loyalty to us.
And he had loyalty to his mother. His mother is of this soil, but she's an immigrant too. They're all settlers. All Europeans are settlers to this country. Remember, never forget that. They're all
And that's
settlers.
how you know they're practicing apartheid. What we're up under is called a son of the soil conflict.
Son of the soil conflict.
Son of the soil conflict.
Wow, S-O-N, the word being son of the soil, S-O-N.
S-O-N.
Wow.
That's why the United States always have so many immigrants that they'll let in from Europe, but you won't let the Haitians come here.
Oh, because they're sons of the soil.
Because they want to keep the Aboriginal groups, the Afro descendants, Native Americans, Alaskan natives, and the Chicanos and the Hawaiians. They always want to keep our population distorted because that weakens us.
That's right.
And when we allow these people to come on our platforms, disguise that they're in our corner, but as soon as they get in a position of power,
They turn it
I
back.
know for a fact,
They turn it
because
back.
I worked with an African that had no problem with locking black children in a dark closet while they were handcuffed.
Wow.
Okay? That's why we have to practice internal sovereignty, to put a security check, safety nets in place so we can survive.
Wow.
Just like the United States have territorial integrity, we have territorial integrity too.
Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. It only makes sense. I mean, why would you not feel that you have the same rights as any other human being?
Because you have puppet leadership put out in front of you,
And
telling
because
you what
we've
to
been
do.
indoctrinated to think so.
That's right. And we don't know our human rights. We don't know that we have rights up under the 1960 decolonization conventions. We don't know that we have rights, a right to self-determination up under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Economic and Social and Cultural Rights.
I've screened
ILO 169 agreements.
ILO 169 agreements. Keep going.
UNIDRIP.
UNIDRIP.
The fourth Geneva Conventions. All of these things apply to us.
Say
But
those again.
Those Negroes, the puppet leadership, they're not going to assert those. They don't assert those rights for you and on your behalf.
That's right.
You got to assert those rights.
And you can do so. You don't have to be a lawyer to do so.
You don't have to be an attorney to assert your international rights. That's a lie too. You know how to read and write. You know how to speak up for yourself.
Thank you. All you need to do is open your mouth and cast your vote with your mouth. Your vote is not a button you push. Your vote is your concept, your thought, how you view the world around you, what you see happening in your community. Because what's happening in my community is not what's happening in Nigeria right now. Do you see? What's happening in my community is not what's happening in New York, Harlem right now. It's not what's happening in California right now. People may not even know some of the stuff that's going on in small pockets all over this country.
As
every culture, every
African
country
people
has its own issue.
living.
We have a right to self-determination, all of our communities. You don't have to move to some plantation. You can have all the rights of a nation and live wherever you want to in this whole goddamn country, but you have certain protections. That's what the Jewish people do. They have protection. They have gated communities that they live in, but they live all over this country. And they have their own police. Don't call the police. They have their own police. But people don't get what we can do because you're not taught it. Keep talking, sis.
And see, and another thing, now, as African people all over the world, we should be unifying in the diaspora and on the continent. But there is a group within the African community on the continent that is not our friend.
Hmm.
And I'm not condemning all Africans, but they're not. And they will let you know that you are not full Africans.
Mhm.
So we cannot continue
They
to
wouldn't
look
like that.
outside of ourselves to save ourselves. Only we can save ourselves.
We have to do this for ourselves.
And the only way to do that is to practice internal sovereignty. How do you do that? You assert your international human rights to
So in other words, I hear you saying like this, sis. Does that mean too, for all these people who want to leave America because they think that this place is so bad, and they go over there to those African countries and say, "Hey, I'm Black American, but you know I'm African too." And some of these places they will tell you, "No, you're not."
No, you're not.
Because because I'm gonna tell you why do you think that? I think they say that because they know our history.
They do know our history.
They know our history better than we do.
They know their history and they know who they are.
Yep.
We're the ones who are confused because we've been miseducated.
All right.
Because we've been miseducated. We don't know our identity. We don't know who we are. And I'm not trying to cause a
about us. It's just the truth of that's the truth. We don't know who we are. We've been miseducated. We've been indoctrinated. Let me say this. I did my own research. When I began to read about what has happened to us in this country, it just all clicked. It fit in place like a puzzle. It just went, you know how a puzzle just clicked. Oh, that piece fits there. Listen, when I discovered that Negro was a name given to us by the start of William Plecker, Governor Plecker, whatever that dude's name is, Virginia, back in the 1800s. When I discovered that, I was like, oh, so then what were we? Well, in actuality, I began to learn about the Moors and the Washita and the indigenous and some of the indigenous people began to see this. They saw my journey of study and they were, well, let me tell you what else. And then they sent me a book. This is pictures, images of a book that sits in the Library of Congress. And I have those images. And they're beautiful. I've shared a few here recently. And every time I let a few of them out, people just lose their minds. They go crazy because this is history we were never taught. But this United States of America knows.
But they did that for a reason, sis. They taught us that we came from Africa because they wanted us to fit into this political mold that we were immigrants when we're not.
Because you can't claim the soil you're on.
That's right.
A son of soil conflict.
That's right.
You don't know that this is your soil. You can't claim it. So you think so they started the out of Africa thing to make you think all of us came from over there. Yes, some did come, but it wasn't all of us. And so that's therein lies. And then you have these people. Listen, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Sis, I'm talking too much because I want to give a history lesson right here where I think there's a huge disconnect. That our people
disconnect. It is. The disconnect is that we think that the majority of our ancestors came through the African slave trade, when that is not true.
Not true.
Okay. Yes, we do have ancestors that came through that last wave of the slave trade, but the majority of our ancestors were already here. Africans were here before the Europeans got here. And that's fact.
Proven.
That's fact.
But yet we want to hold on to these ideas so the puzzles, it clicks into place and it lets you know that these people have been indoctrinated. I went and looked up also the Indian indoctrination schools because you never hear about those. There's something called an Indian indoctrination school that they subjected indigenous people to this land too. And they separated, they didn't send the dark-skinned ones, they sent the light-skinned ones. They separated the dark-skinned ones out and made them Negro. And the lighter-skinned ones, they thought were salvageable. Them in called Indian indoctrination schools and put them on reservations. But they had black blood in them. And many of them, after they began to have children, had kids coming out look like me, even though they were lighter-skinned Indians, you see. So what happened then was they had to admit the genome was there So they started to murder those Indians if they came out the tribe. You couldn't come out the tribe. Up in the Nevada area, if they or anywhere, if those tribes, if they caught those indigenous people coming off the tribe, the dark, especially the darker skinned ones, they would kill them on sight. They didn't want this word to get out. David Duke, they know this. The Klan, they knew this. That's why they formed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they formed, to keep this huge secret and continue to indoctrinate us. They got the Indian indoctrination schools from the trial run. The trial run for indoctrination school was were HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where these Negroes come from.
Yeah. Them Negroes have done a 1-2 punch on us politically and legally.
Bloodline of them.
They are unsalvageable. And for those of us who are ready to move in the direction of self-determination, we're going to have to unify.
But them other Negroes got to stay here. We can't take them. They can't go with us because they'll kill us all.
Well,
Master.
That's true. But at some point, we're going to have to make some serious political decisions. You know, some decisions we have avoided for some time. And then there are those of us who are moving in the right direction, but you got a lot of Negroes who want to eat off of the movement.
That's right.
Well, I'm sorry, you can't eat off the movement.
You're not going to
We're going to have to earn our way through the movement.
Right. You got to put in some.
Nobody has money to give away to pay for Ronsa Dowdy courses. Nobody have no money to give away. Times are hard. Okay.
They seen that
nobody got no money. Nobody got no money to give away.
You know, since they see that number 1.3 trillion, they see that number and their eyes get big. And they say, oh, give me some of that money. So that's what a lot of these black businesses are doing. Some of these black businesses aren't doing anything. Like I really like doing what I do because I'm good at it. Mm-hmm. Someone's calling me. I need to remember to turn this off. I apologize, guys. I gotta remember to turn that off whenever I do these videos on my phone. Anyway, keep go ahead.
But anyway, we're gonna change the channel to reparations. How reparations is gonna look. Reparations is gonna come in the form of compensation for each family, each individual, but it's also gonna look like guarantees of non-repetition.
You're gonna have to excuse me for a second. I'm dealing with something. Hang on 1 second.
Legal and economic petitions, political petitions, have our own security and do our own policing, have our own justice system. That's how it's gonna look. That's called internal sovereignty. And that's what we have a right to practice. We also have a right, if any country in Africa wants to donate land, we have a right to set up our own nation and practice, for those who want to leave, external sovereignty.
Yeah.
That's something that we could do. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to unify as a people and come up with a plan. The disunity. You have one camp, you have Negroes, and it's mostly the men. If someone gets a little bit more attention than another person, oh, that person's an agent. This person is compromised. Well, when you point the finger at one person, 3 fingers and a thumb point back at you.
You know,
what have you been doing?
You tell somebody that they just seem like they don't get it. I mean, why would you throw stones living in a glass house? You're literally throwing yourself.
Ego. That's why we can't go anywhere.
Throwing yourself on the knife.
You got people who think because they have 1 or 2 degrees that gives them the authority to rule over everyone else.
Yeah.
And that doesn't fly with everybody. It definitely don't fly with me. I don't give a damn about your degrees.
We talked about something earlier. You know, it takes a good follower. Someone has to know how to follow instructions in order to be a good leader. If follow instructions. You a simple-minded, simpleton motherfucker. Oh, I said a cuss word. They might try to take me off here for that. But anyway, if you're that simple-minded that they tell you to pick up a book and take it and put it over on the table, okay, and then spin it counterclockwise. If you cannot do that because you got to ask, well, why? Well, what's gonna happen if I do? If you got all that shit going on, you're gonna lead something. Because you made up in your mind what needs to happen as a leader, and you can't have no doubts. You need to be able to follow instructions. It's okay. There's a time and a place for asking questions. But in the middle of a revolution, that ain't it. Anyway, you got some simple people out there. So you can't be a good leader if you don't know how to follow. Until you can learn to follow. And I think this message is meant for somebody. I don't know who it's meant for. Oftentimes the ancestors come to me to give messages. So there's somebody out there that needs to hear this. And that is that you can't be a good leader because you don't know how to follow. And I'm not talking to anybody personally. I don't know the people that I've been calling themselves beefing with me, talking about they're gonna put a hit on my, I think they're probably agents or somebody just mad because I busted them open. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, if you don't have a good sense of how to follow directions, you can't pick up the bottle and read the bottle that says do this with it. And how you gonna bake a cake? Your ass can't follow directions. You're gonna leave. It's gonna turn into a mess. Now that's just the way I see it. But anyway, I could be wrong about that shit. Go bake a cake without following directions. Tell me how to turn out.
Well, I tell you, we've been doing it for a long time. Look at the political mess that we're in. If you look at all of these murders, police murders, they're politically motivated. That's a way to keep us in line, keep us afraid. See, there was always two ways out of this. If you notice during the elections, you had one camp, oh, we just need to go vote. Vote for what? Vote for fucking who? Vote for what? What are you getting out of it? All you're doing is giving your consent to be murdered. Giving your consent for your children to be murdered. Giving your consent to be colonized. Giving your consent to be racially profiled. Where your tax dollars are used to undermine your own self-determination. And you got Negroes that promotes this.
They know what's going on.
And they know what's going on.
They know what's going on.
And now you got these new Negroes. Let me tell you about the new ones you got that's been on the scene.
From them indoctrination schools, a lot of them.
Well, wait a minute. Let me tell you about these new so-called, let's talk about these new so-called revolutionary Negroes. One thing about this, about the issue with Grandmaster Jay have brought to the forefront, you can have all these fist-pumping Negroes that you want. Been on the scene 50 years, 20 years. Telling people how to draw up these fake documents and this, that, and the third.
What?
You heard me? I ain't never scared. Putting on property. Making fake license plates. But you get one person on the scene.
Fake license plate? And get away with it, huh?
That can actually, no, they don't get away with it because they end up in jail.
What you saying?
Yes, ma'am. They psych other folks to go do it. I'm waiting for the video on that from our friend. I ain't want to gossip. You ain't hear from me.
I know a couple of them. I know one myself personally very well. Brilliant man. He in jail right now. Because he thought he believed in it.
I know one sister did several years for squatting on a $4 million piece of property after letting somebody psych her up to do it. Where is that show at?
Don't put that on reality TV, do it.
And that agent provocateur is still walking around here collecting money.
Whoa, what you say?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of gatekeepers out there, y'all. And they're everywhere. They're not just in certain organizations. They're in all of the damn organizations. And usually they're at the very top.
Oh, yeah, at the very top. You got people, the bottom line is,
if they got a platform and you can hear about them and you looking at them on YouTube a lot all the time, And they ain't getting sanctioned, they ain't having no problems. That's why I love Michi. She be out there, but she don't be out there every day. I don't either. But I'm about to start doing a little more on my YouTube because I already know what's going down. So this
but
is
like I said,
nothing on Facebook because I know all of you are here. Y'all been screaming it over and over. Y'all need to go on over to my YouTube, and I'm gonna crank it up. I know I haven't been there, totally, but I'm gonna crank it up. But I'm gonna get out of here. Out of here.
But you know what? And when you get your leaders that do stand up and that do put themselves in a position to actually move things, you get those Negroes that come out of the woodworks that really, you see them for what they are. But anytime you see somebody been on the scene for more than 5 years and they move 1 iota, you better raise your eyebrow at that. I do. Somebody want, oh, I'm an international lawyer. International lawyer ain't gonna make no turd for me and my family. We gotta move. And we gotta have a coming to Jesus moment about where we are here in this country politically and stop bullshitting. If you want reparations, learn about your human rights.
Because that's the only way you're going to get them.
Learn about your human rights. Learn how to assert your human rights. You don't need an attorney. This is the thing.
And if this wasn't real, they wouldn't be suppressing it. I've been shadow banned, and everybody, a lot of people on my Facebook can attest. If you are there and you know I've been shadow banned, shout me out. Just hit a button or something, a like or something. If you're here and you're watching, you know I have been shadow banned because you watched the shenanigans that have gone on Facebook, the same kind of shenanigans that Brother Grandmaster Jay had went through before they shut him down. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. People don't understand.
They don't want this movement to survive.
Yeah, shut it down.
Because this is a power move. And he was the one who had the numbers and the following to do it. Right. We've been on the scene for years. The numbers we got, those are Ramzu's numbers.
That's true.
But he had the capacity, and he has the capacity
Messiah spirit
to move it.
You got that same, and I told Ramzu, you have the same Messiah spirit. That same is there. You can't cut off this thing. You, like I said this to someone before, like a plant. You can't cut off a plant and not expect it to grow. Multiple shoots will come from that plant. So they murder our people, our Fred Hamptons. They just keep the universe sends them back and sends them back in multiples and multiples and multiples. So I didn't mean to cut you off, my sister. I really didn't. My people don't understand this, and I know they don't, because I've talked to so many people here, and there's a lot of people watching. So I just really wanted to say that. She's dealing with the babies because we're doing this during our family time.
You see, I'm sitting up here muting. I don't want everybody to hear that, and I hope nobody can read lips.
Well, no, I think with Zoom, what happens is when we're together like this, it's not a split screen. I don't know if they can do that, but it usually picks up the person that's speaking. So it's a pretty intelligent app, kind of like the Zoom.
Good. I'm good because, hey, I don't want to hear. I'm going to get the switch. But you know what? When we have people who hit the scene, I have been watching. And I know what I've been involved in the past couple of years. And when I see people hit the scene and hit the ground running, I'm always impressed. Now, I raise my eyebrows on some things, but I don't ever put myself in a position where I'm demonizing another human being, especially another person who looks like me.
Or judging them.
My heart has really been hurt. Just seeing how easy it was for this brother to be demonized. He's been called an agent. He's been called this, and he's been called that. Matter of fact, his life has really been threatened by his own damn people because of their mouth. And when you got a Negro who has the audacity to make videos based on bullshit that's unproven, it's like that Negro comes up with shit every day. It's like he just pulls it out of the air. Well, I'm waiting to see, when is he gonna make the goddamn video?
Dreaming about.
Sis. When are you gonna make the videos about all those Moors that got fucked up for filing that badass goddamn paperwork and squatting on that fucking property? Where's that goddamn video?
Oh.
I'll wait. But you can run your fucking mouth about somebody else.
So this has happened on numerous occasions. I
Oh,
take.
this was all. You've been in. You know what goes on in that circle.
But I'm just wondering, because I'm asking these questions, because when you confront these people with it, there's a lot of arguments, and so
Oh yeah.
you
But
know,
the bottom line is, this is the bottom line.
you see for the more
They're compromised. Hold on, sis. Because they want to put it out that their way, filing that bogus ass bullshit using domestic law. Hold tight.
take your time, sis. I'm gonna tend to the people here. I've got some folks here, and I don't know if they've asked other questions.
Hold on.
Take your time. Take your time.
They want you to believe that their way, following them, filing that bogus ass bullshit domestically is the only way to go, when it's not. I know. I traveled in those circles and I know how they operate. You want to call somebody an agent? When you point the fucking finger at somebody else, 3 fingers and a damn thumb is pointing back at you. And I do know for a fact, those are some agent ass motherfuckers.
Say that again, sis. Say that again.
Agent ass motherfuckers.
When you point the finger.
When you point that finger at one person, 3 more and a thumb is pointing back at you. Where's the video? And when you motherfuckers had people filing that bogus ass paperwork, squatting in them goddamn $4 million pieces of property. And when they end up getting locked up, motherfuckers run like roaches. Where's the video, motherfucker, on that?
Sis, I'm gonna try and bring you in on the live. Do you have your phone, or do you want to do it on the? Are you on the laptop now?
I'm on my laptop now.
Let's try and see if we can simulcast with this Zoom on Facebook. I have the option here. It doesn't look like Facebook is blocking it. Let's see if they block it this time. The last time when they tried to block it. So let's see if I can.
But am I asking some relevant questions?
You are, and that's why I want to bring you in. And look, I don't think they're gonna let me.
Let me see, can I do it?
Let me.
Hold tight. You're gonna have to show me.
Well, you know what? Let's not worry about it. I don't wanna. We got this. And so this particular Zoom, I will share it. I want to do it just like it is. Nothing happens by mistake. Whatever they try to do to stop us ends up usually being the one thing that catapults us even further into success. And I'm going to claim that on top of this felonious arrest of Grandmaster Jay. What they tried to do to stop him is only going to make him more popular. It's only going to get this word out of the nation that we're building. And that we already are, but that we need to know that we have the option other than voting for Biden, Kamala, and Trump, Pence.
We don't have to vote for them. We don't have to continue to participate in this. We do not. We don't have to continue voting, co-signing on our own damn demise. We don't. We have a right to practice internal sovereignty. We have a right to practice external sovereignty.
That's right.
And it falls up under the 1960 Decolonization Conventions, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the 4th Geneva Conventions. Mm-hmm. Those are our rights. Mm-hmm. You got Negroes been peddling liberation for over 30 or 40 years and we ain't got nowhere because those motherfuckers are eating off the movement. And I'm gonna take it and be real with it.
They're taking that.
Somebody hit the scene who has the capacity to move the shit. They demonize them and throw them on the bus. Like I said, where the fuck the video with them goddamn Moors squatting on that $4 million property, pumping folks up to file that bogus ass paperwork, squatting on that $4 million goddamn property? Where's the video on that?
They won't talk about that. Now she's talking to people, but there's no response on my page. But
oh, okay. I thought you could hear rat piss on cotton, but you want to call somebody an agent.
Are we talking about this Morris Temple Science?
Damn call it, sis.
Morris Temple Science
That's what we
people?
talking about.
That's who we talking about over there?
Yes,
Oh, I know exactly who you talking about. Them same ones that fool with Crystal Muhammad because they don't like, for some reason, they don't want Grandmaster Jay to be doing what he's doing. And they said he was an agent, but the agents took him down. So now he's silent and can't talk.
Well, they're violating his political rights.
Still lying on that horse.
Political rights.
The dead mother.
They're violating his rights.
Violating
They violate ours on a daily basis. What these Negroes want you to believe is that the only way to go is the domestic route, when it's not.
It's not the only way.
They want you to believe that, oh, pay this and have this file. Oh, follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, take this class. And that's going to liberate you. No.
I'm sorry.
I liberate you.
But that was, it's sad. I laugh because I laugh to keep from crying, sis, because we have been taken advantage of for so long by
our own damn kind.
Until we can't even do business together no more.
By our own kind. We are our own worst enemy.
Sister Mecca, and she knows these Moors. She's actually been dating them for years.
She travels in those damn circles.
Sister Mecca, and I'll bring her in on the conversation one day. She don't even want to be bothered with y'all. She don't want to talk about it. She don't want to be involved in it because she went on the Moorish Science Temple TV. She knows that brother. She dated him. I'm gonna put it out there. She know that brother. And that brother, she got his phone number so she can call, but she cussed him out on his show in front of all the Moors. So they know what I'm talking about on my page. If you watch the Moorish Science, if you follow Moorish Science, Mecca called me.
If you follow his show, if you follow that bullshit, that
she knew that he was full of shit. Sis, hold on. She knew that he was full of shit concerning Grandmaster Jay. Don't make no sense. This is what we all been trying to do for all these many years. And she said, I wonder why they always fought against me. Every time that girl spent decades and a decade, she said, "This is I'm tired." When they start shooting, call me. That's what she said. Mm-hmm. And that's some more.
Because they eating off of the movement. That's how they pay their goddamn bills. Begging, pleading,
swindling,
getting people, psyching folks up to file that bogus ass bullshit, all but making license plates. I know one sister lost her goddamn car because she wouldn't pay a $50 damn ticket, parking ticket.
Oh.
And you want to talk about brainwashing? Pay my $50 ticket to keep my car and her pay cash for a nice goddamn car.
Whoa.
But she refused to pay the ticket and ended up losing her goddamn car.
Whoa.
Paid for. That's the type of shit that's going around here.
That doesn't mean all Moors are bad.
But you want to call somebody else an agent and say he's trying to brainwash somebody.
That are following a bad deal. Okay? I'm just going to call it out. People get mad when I talk about the Nation of Islam because it's just like Christianity. You better not say nothing. That's their God. And that man is just a messenger. And I ain't saying that but I mean, hey, man, he was just a messenger. He's a man. He's human. Just like Malcolm X was, Elijah Muhammad was. They was all humans. So they're fallible. And one of the problems that they're easily, it's just like with this other doctor, Ansari. Anytime you have a situation where you've been in power for too long, they say power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yeah, nah, man. That's why we believe in a council and not a leader of one person of all. You have to have a council. And then you gotta have a council. You gotta have a leader in the military.
I'm gonna tell you something, sis. And know we've been talking about that all women's brigade too.
Yes.
And since you've been threatened, let me tell you something. You spend some time on putting some security measures in place within your family first. You don't have to go join this, that, and the third over here. Security starts the fuck at home. That's where security starts. Then you build your security from your home to people you cool with within your community. And then you work your way from throughout the state. Let me tell you about Elena. I don't need no goddamn security. I'm my own motherfucking security. You fuck with me, I'll drop you to where the fuck you stand. I don't give a damn about that bullshit. And I'm about that life. Motherfucker better check my resume. I'll go sit somewhere.
With no problem.
With no motherfucking problem. So don't get it twisted. Just because I don't act like the Elena 20 years ago, don't make me motherfucking come out the gate.
Don't mean she ain't still in there.
She's still there.
Yeah.
Elaine is in there. But see, you dealing with Elena right now.
But
when Elaine come out the gate, I don't argue.
See,
I'm gonna tell the motherfucker one time, shut the fuck up. I ain't gonna argue with you no more.
Y'all know my Facebook page, but for those of y'all who don't have Instagram, you don't know my Instagram page. That's Belinda.
But see,
sis, Belinda's a lot different than
security. It starts at home. It starts with you. Liberation starts with you. That means in order to be in this movement, you should have a job so you won't be out here peddling and swindling classes and bullshit. They eat off of the movement. That means you should have a way.
It's invaluable to trade.
That's right. You should have a way to feed yourself, or you don't need to advocate for nobody if you can't feed your damn self. How can you save anybody else and you can't save yourself? Because you know what? All you're going to end up doing is, if you don't have your finances in order, is feeding off of the movement. Right. Feeding off of the people who really ain't got it. And that's the shame in this movement. The shame in this movement is the dog-eat-dog Negroes that put themselves out here to act like they about that life, that they really want liberation, when all they want is fanfare. That's the shame. The shame in this movement is for Negroes to snitch jacket, point the finger, and call somebody an agent and put their life at risk by running your goddamn mouth because they got a little bit more following than you. That's $10 that ain't going to your goddamn pocket because they ain't filing that fucked up paperwork and squatting in them $4 million pieces of property, getting 20 years to the goddamn door, standing on that square. Fuck you.
Well, Sister Elena, I heard you loud and clear. I heard you loud and clear. And I come from a family. People don't understand. This is something that has transcended down through my generations. We started smiling and laughing because, and I understand now, I saw it in a movie. I think it was Predator. That brother, the bald-headed brother, was down there in the mud, and that predator was looking for him. The predator killed the black man. You know, that always happens in the movies. You know, they kill a black man, big black man. And this brother was like, "I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun." It was a good day to die. It was a good day to die. He knew it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have me some goddamn fun doing all my frustrations and energy out on that day. Good day to die. So I understand her anger. I understand what that is. I've been sharing recently about Dr. Naeem Akbar. While he still lives, I understand he's recently retired, or maybe not recently, but last I heard he was at Florida State A&M. Watched a video that said he was not anymore, but he's still having conversations about the state of affairs. He's a brilliant psychologist and psychoanalyst, and I think that everyone should look him up. Dr. Naeem Akbar. Look on my Facebook page for him. I want to thank Sister Elena Porter. Sister Porter, would you mind if I go back through my feed and kind of look, because there's people here and I'm sure they're talking, but I've been kind of giving us the floor for the most part. I want to say hi to some people who are here. Jabal El Tariq, I see you. You've been hanging with us. Greg Norman, thank you for coming through. Hi, Gwen Davis, Cecil Dowdy. You guys are getting a great, George D. Miner's watching, y'all getting a great lesson on international law. The Pendo Institute is the name of Sister Porter's Institute. Do we have a website yet?
Hold on, it's the Pendo Center for Human Rights and Self-Determination. And let me get a little spiel on that. It's called the Pendo Center for Human Rights and Self-Determination. Our website is Pendo, the number 4, freedom.org. And the reason why I created Sister Cecile and my other two colleagues created that institution is that our people need a place to go, a place where they can find good information, so they can have a place, if anything happens, that they can have good information to advocate for themselves and in their communities. I'm tired of seeing the so-called leadership eating off the movement, taking advantage of people who really don't have it to give. Just so happened, I had a little, my children are grown. I've done some things to put myself in a position. I don't have a whole lot, but I'm in a position where I can invest in our liberation a little bit. But I want our people to have a safe place. Our people in leadership, they need access to good information so they'll know how to move.
So if you want to talk about Black businesses,
yeah,
the name of this, it's the Pendo Institute on Human Rights. Say that
Pendo Center for Human Rights and Self-Determination.
The Pendo Center for Human Rights and Self-Determination. And I'm going to look up, I'm going to post that link. You got to remind me, sis. I'm going to post this link on this live, and I'm going to share it again on my page. However, you do know that they suppress my information. So
they suppress us all because they don't want this move. We're in an official national liberation movement. This ain't no botched up bullshit.
This is the revolution.
We're in an official national diplomatic national liberation movement. Yeah. We're making applications to different agencies in the United Nations so we can get to help to secure our property. We have property rights that we have not scratched the surface on. We have other rights we have not scratched the surface on because our leadership are ignorant. And the ones that do know, they use it as a way to wield their power and their authority over our people.
Over our people.
And that bullshit has to stop too.
Yeah, that has to stop. That's and it's insane.
That's about to stop too. That's why I'm taking heads at this point. I give 2 shits less. Yeah. I will not be silent. I will not allow and sit back and allow another Black person who had all good intentions to be demonized in the media, demonized on social media, because that shit can get him killed. That shit can get anybody killed. That's called snitch. That's some counterintelligence bullshit. And when you take in consideration that this organization, the Moore Science Temple, has been around so long and has done absolutely nothing towards nation building.
Yes.
I question the whole goddamn institution.
Yes.
So
the same way you question churches, I question that one for that same reason. How long? 40 years? And we ain't moved not once. She just said it since 1865, not one iota. What they doing? Why are we involved in it if it ain't moving us forward?
You ain't moving, you ain't doing nothing.
Ain't doing nothing for you, stealing from you, taking from your succubus. You taking from. Willie Hopkins says the difference of indifference is that we are willing to forgive those who hate us without probability or cause. So we assimilate into a nationalized ideology. And that does sound right. I went back to try to read over some of these, sis, but yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I don't know what else to say. Let's see, Jerry Johnson.
It's shameful. There's nothing else you can say. It's just shameful.
It's shameful.
We are the laughing stock of the fucking world.
The entire world.
We are the laughing stock. Yep. Every time, if you go to another country, we are the laughing stock of the world because of the puppet leadership that we allow to represent us. Mm-hmm. And because of the stuff that we do to each other. All they see is a buck dancing, foot kissing, toe sucking, ass licking Negroes.
And as long as they see those people, they're comfortable, content, and happy. And so you'll only see those people in media. When someone starts to do something like Nick Cannon did and speak about the ills of our society, they shut them down quickly and then make them apologize, or they take their platform.
I ain't apologizing for shit that I say. I ain't apologizing for nothing that I say. At this point, I'll never apologize for nothing that I say.
No.
I will not apologize for the question. Where is the fucking video about all these people that got fucked up filing that bogus ass goddamn paperwork, squatting on that goddamn property? When's the next video on that? That whole organization has been around for decades. What has come of it? Besides pumping bullshit and pumping lies.
Again, I've posted her name in my comments on the live here. The person speaking is Sister Elena Porter. And we just plugged her, the Institute. She will be teaching anyone who wants to learn international law at that Institute. And I would recommend you take the courses. They're nothing like what he was charging, Dr. Ansari was charging, hundreds of dollars. Our people can't pay that, but I mean, if you can afford to pay something or donate higher, please do. This sister is she's going in her own pocket, and she's taking out her own. You see, we're doing this live. Her grandchildren are running in and out of there. Because she's spending her time here explaining what we need to do as a people. And we all are. We're tired of being taken advantage of.
By our own time. By our own people.
A sister, and it's usually somebody said this. I had Amor tell me this. Before it was over. I ended up talking real bad to him, but because he didn't want to relinquish patriarchy. And I don't believe in either patriarchy or matriarchy. There will be balance, but and I think he understood that. But I think he respected it. 70-year-old man. He told me, he said, "What the women at? Y'all the ones who ran this world for 86,000 years." He said, "Get your ass up. We waiting on you." He was right. And so this sister has, and these others, let's not leave out Dr. Cecilia Johnson. If you're there, would you tag her on this video? Because I sent her a friend request, but we haven't connected yet. But she also very instrumental. And so us three sisters are not gonna play with this. We are the mothers that have offspring to protect. The men may have given us the seed, but we're the ones charged with protecting them.
That's right.
What kind of shit is that? I'm just saying. So for any of you men who are afraid of this cause, that's why I love Grandmaster Jay, because he wasn't afraid to stand up for the cause of not just his own seed, all of our offspring.
He could have been anywhere. I mean, the man is very educated. He retired from the military. He could have been sitting there with his goddamn ghetto ducks, drinking mint, sipping on mint juleps.
Thank you.
And having a very good life.
Beautiful view he got. I saw it with them flying over his place, trying to see what he doing all the time. Yeah, I saw it.
He could have been sitting there with his ghetto ducks, having a great goddamn time, sipping on fucking mint juleps, enjoying his fucking pension. But he out here trying to help liberate Negroes who don't give a damn about themselves. And sometimes I wonder, is it really worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's worth it to me, because it's worth it for the young people. We were left with nothing politically.
Nothing.
Our elders left us with nothing. Integration left us with shit.
Nothing. But death and destruction.
But death and destruction. Is that what we're going to leave our children and grandchildren? Is this how we're going to be remembered?
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be that kind of ancestor. I don't want to be that kind of ancestor. I don't want to be.
Well, sis, I don't even know where I done got so upset. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to continue with the show. I may have to wait an hour or whatever, but I've been pissed all day.
Well, it's good that you got it out.
I'm highly pissed. And you know how I get when I get pissed. Ain't no coming back. I'm highly upset because I don't like what I see. And I know a lot of people in the background
She's hurt.
has sacrificed. You have Brother Ramzu up in Detroit. You have myself, you have Sister Cecile, you have others who have put their reputations on the line, put their lives on the line, put their families on the line.
The entire NFAC.
The entire organization put their jobs. Those are not just no ragtag ass, big Humpty Dumpty, big fat funky Humpty Dumpty looking ragtag Section 8 looking motherfuckers.
Combat, military combat.
That's not who's out there.
People.
Section 8 material is not out there. No. Pass it on.
No, those are.
That's not who's out there. They're teachers, they're educators, they're nurses.
Grassroots people.
Grassroots people.
That's who's made up of the thousands and thousands of people that have joined the NFAC.
So wait a minute, sis, let me say this. So let me say this. That is why our professionals, we have a professional class that want to help and who want to do something. The very reason right now is why we have not moved any further. Because our professionals are not respected, the ones who want to step up.
Dr. Naeem Akbar. You need to check him out. He's another one. They're not respected by us. But mostly they've been suppressed. I don't want you to know. You need to.
It's a shame. It really turns my stomach. And see, by me with my background of what I know in the circles that I've traveled in, I know counterintelligence when I see it being played out in front of me.
Let's talk about.
I know who these people are.
Let's talk about.
I've seen them in action.
Let's talk about that a little bit. One of the reasons why this sister is so passionate about this is because she has also been, like Grandmaster Jay, the spook who sat by the door. So she relates to that. She's passionate because she too was in training in day schools to learn what they do and how they do us. So she went to, and your background is a degree, is it a master's degree in criminal justice? The master's degree in criminal justice.
When I originally went back, Sister Lily, I worked with at-risk youth. And what I originally wanted to do is rewrite restorative justice programs for our children. And at that time, I was working in an alternative school. But then I started looking at terms of employment, and I was going to actually apply for different jobs in Homeland Security and different things like that. So I ended up studying it. And because for those type of jobs, you have to, pass tests. So I really went into a deep study of it. So I can see it playing out. Snitch jacketing. Snitch jacket is when you call one person an agent and you the goddamn agent.
Yes.
That's snitch jacketing.
They've graduated that process back in the day. Ago, sis, what they would do is if you were on the streets, they would put you in the back seat of a police and ride you around the neighborhood and slow down in front of the dope houses and point at the dope house because they knew where all the dope houses were.
Another one is gang stalking. You watch and you be very careful because when you got that threat, they have something called gang stalking too. We're gonna talk offline. But if a motherfucker, if they have the audacity to threaten you,
girl, I'm good with that. They can't
listen now.
Trust me.
It's called gang stalking. It can start on social media, but it'll end up you'll have cars driving up and down your street. People sitting outside your door. This stuff is real. This is nothing that we're playing with. But this is what our own people do to each other. It's called a crab in a barrel syndrome, and it's killing us. It's killing our children. It's keeping us in a place where we can't even transfer wealth from one generation to the other. Your mouth can get somebody killed. Your mouth.
Just because people want to follow what you said, they're so that's why I shared it, because it needs to be seen. that this is what's happening in our communities.
It's shameful.
We need
It's
our
shameful.
own police. We don't need to be policed by people that don't pass a certain psychological background.
It's even deeper than that, sis. The policing is colonial policing.
Well,
That's the type, it's for control, because we are one of the original peoples that were here. And they use that criminal justice system and the police to keep us in line. Instead of coming to the table, paying reparations for what they fucking owe, partitioning off our areas, and doing what's supposed to be done, coming to the negotiation table. Instead, they use violence and use force. That's where we are. And the puppet leadership knows this, and they're too scared to open their mouth, or either they're eating crumbs off master's table. But either way, the jig is up.
Jig is up, it's over.
Because I'm going to tell it if I gotta sing it in a song. You damn right I filed that National Liberation Status document.
Oh, I was waiting for you to say it. I wasn't gonna say it. Oh, slow down, back up. Okay, you said what now? Because I know who filed it. Grandmaster Jay won't talk about it too much, but the information that Grandmaster Jay got for the National Liberation Status of our people was filed that he's talking about on all. Go back and look at Grandmaster Jay's YouTube. When he talks about the filing of the National Liberation Status, one time he said her name Elena, but he didn't say her full name. That's the sister that you have on live with right now. Her name is Sister Elena.
But he had input.
She did it. It's done.
Hold on.
And you can find it this time. For those who said this.
With Grandmaster Jay's background and his knowledge, his political knowledge. That's why I reached out to him. That brother is very articulate. He's very politically astute. He is not the dummy that they're trying to portray him in the media.
He's brilliant.
They're trying to portray this brother as this damn psycho military guy in need of help, and that is not who the hell he is. Let me tell you, that is our spook that sat by the door. I have a lot of respect for him. They're trying to make him out to be this psycho, to be this monster, painting this picture of a person that he is not. He is a victim of COINTELPRO. He is not. And I reached out to him. He didn't reach out to me. I reached out to him because we didn't factor in security. When we filed that paperwork as a nation, we didn't factor that shit in. And since we filed that paperwork in 2017, the police brutality has been an uptick in that shit.
Okay, stop. Go back, because the people don't know about this. So the paperwork was filed back in 2017.
No. We filed paperwork as a nation. In 2000, we declared a nation in 2017. Declare ourselves a nation.
And this is what Brother Ramzu entered the stage with. With that paperwork is when he began what's going on in Detroit right now.
Brother Ramzu came on board with us. He had the numbers. And since we started moving towards self-determination, there's been an uptick in violence.
Shooting us down, killing us, just shooting us down with impunity, just shooting us down in the street. Babies, children, everybody hanging us. Yeah.
I reached out to that brother because he had the capacity to see us make a transition as a dependent people to a self-determining people with less bloodshed. And I was very impressed by the way that he navigated the laws domestically. Everything he's done has been according to the law. But because he followed the letter of the law, he was called an agent.
Yep.
Unrightfully so.
Yep.
Unrightfully so. He's been called an agent. But we filed, and he came on board with us. So, and I'm grateful for that.
I am so grateful for that.
And I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for his efforts
that he has brought into this movement.
That's right.
It was meant for him to be seen. That's the only reason why. They're trying to stop him from being seen. It's not like he has a major platform like other people that have been on this for years and years and ain't going nowhere. We are, not were, ooh, why am I talking in past tense? We are going somewhere, you see. And he has been taking us in the right direction. It's the irony has not also, I want to say this before we go, the irony is not lost on me that they took him out. They let him get through the etymology and study of the code of, I can't remember the name, Malahim, that he did all that study. But when it came time for the destruction of Black civilization, they had to shut him down.
Yeah, they had to shut him down because he was getting ready to go deep into our soul.
Yes, he was getting ready
to the root of the problem. See, when you don't go to the root of the problem and control this right here, you're setting yourself up to be manipulated again.
Right.
We can't afford any more mistakes. We're in genocidal conditions. You don't control what you eat. You don't control where you sleep. You control absolutely nothing.
In your communities.
You own nothing.
You live in neighborhoods. You don't live in communities. You don't even get to know the people near you.
People who are colonized, they control their own things. We are a colonized people. We're not just up under a racist regime. You're up under colonization. You're dealing with a power issue. So you're gonna have to come from a place of power to deal with the issue. And that's where Brother Jay was coming from. Nothing that he did was illegal.
Nothing.
He did nothing. He was asserting on our behalf, asserting our international political rights.
I think the people know that he didn't do anything wrong. I think everybody knows that, good, bad, and indifferent. Everybody knows that Brother Jay didn't do anything. To look through your scope with the light at somebody because you're trying to see who it is not grounds for 20 years of prison. I mean, they knew what they were doing. They found a way to catch him. He probably should have used the binoculars instead. He just got through talking about the camera that he has. So, but in the moment, you're trying to manage a bunch of different stuff. So they found something. It's what they do.
Wait a minute, sister.
They spend
that's a COINTELPRO tactic that they used. Yeah. If he had threatened anybody, they would have picked him up that day.
They'd have picked him off that day.
They would have picked him off that day. That would have been served as a pretext to take that whole NFAC out.
Down.
And those bastards know it.
Yep.
They want to shut him up. Right. And they're violating the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Let me roll them off to you right quick. Freedom of Association, Article 22. The bastards are in violation of that.
Freedom of Association, Article 22. You see.
Of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
All right.
Article 21.
Hold on. International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
As long as he's locked up, he cannot move us towards self-determination. He can't do nothing. So that's what they're suppressing. Okay? He's basically a political prisoner. And they use that bullshit as a pretext to lock him up. And those Negroes that's running their damn mouths, when it's all said and done, they're contributing to it. So you keep talking, talkers, because the same way you think you getting receipts on him, receipts being gotten on your ass too. Keep talking.
That's right.
Keep talking. Keep running your mouth. Keep making your videos, making it up as you go.
Don't think it ain't being documented.
Don't think it's not just like you picking him apart. You being picked apart too, Jack.
Right. Well, I'm not even gonna go there. Well,
you ain't gotta go there.
He said himself.
They'll be reading about it. Let them keep doing what they're doing. Because this thing is bigger than what we think it is. This is nationwide. This is global.
Global.
And it's on a global scale.
Yep.
And the beast we're up against, because I filed that paperwork for a reason. When we go back in and do them Freedom of Information Acts, and get to pulling them documents, we're going to know who the real agent is. So keep making your little videos. You keep doing what you're doing.
What's that man's name? They tortured that poor white man too.
Sit down.
Julian Assange. Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna drop the truth. It's already out there. Freedom of information. It's already out there. It's just that people
Keep
don't
doing what you're doing. We're gonna see whose payroll you on, since you want to call people agents. See, this thing is bigger. It's bigger than we think it is. This is about a power move.
Don't be disturbed.
And
Don't get on that nice list.
the pretext to lock him up, they think they're stopping something, but you're not stopping anything. We're going to push on. And it's not just me. It's not just people in our circle. We got people all over the world watching this. Our eyes is on this right here.
say that. He's not telling the lies. He's telling the truth.
All eyes is on this right here. The people who are actually doing the work, all eyes is on this right here.
Every single year.
So you keep doing what you're doing. Keep your little snitch jacketing going on. Because see, when we get to pulling receipts, we're going to know who's who. So you keep doing what you're doing. Because see, I'm this type of person. I work in the background. I love these right here. I puts the pen on you. This is my weapon of choice. And when I put that pen where I needed to go, do what I do, and then I go back and retrieve what I need to retrieve. I find out who's who.
I love this sister. I love this sister.
So I advise folks to close your mouth, because this thing is global. This thing is bigger than me. This thing is bigger than you. It's bigger than Jay. This is about our children.
This is about the state of our race. How we gonna live? I don't think they're gonna kill us all. I think they're gonna enslave us in ways that they've never done before. These people have wicked.
But it doesn't have to go down like that. We don't have to be re-enslaved. We don't have to take things laying down. We don't have to be fearful. We don't have to be parasitic. We don't have to feed off of each other.
The fact that she even has to say that.
To get where we need to go.
Has to say that out loud to people. Where is your sense of self-preservation? That's my mind doesn't conceive not taking care of. My mind don't conceive that.
What is that?
You know, and I'm one of the people who has in my past gone through some challenging things. But you know, you learn from that and you dust yourself out. You straighten your straighten. I'm not even from Dallas. Straighten your crown. Straighten your crown.
That's right. Well, sis, I really appreciate this, and I hate it. I had to, I try to wear two hats and be all prim and proper.
I love it. I love it. This is.
Wait. I know how to code switch. I have a master's degree, and I studied with Dr. This and Dr. That ain't gonna make no turn for your family.
You don't have to be educated and stupid. You can actually be educated and woke. Duh. You can see, you can critically think, you can put two and two together, you can piece the puzzle together and find out the answers. It's not that hard. What's hard is that people are suffering from fear. So you're afraid, you're not allowed. No cowards allowed. No cow, and that's my new motto.
You know what?
2021. No cowards allowed.
But sister, we're being murdered anyway. We're being colonized anyway. That's a slow death. When you're colonized people,
Kill me sick and let me fight.
Intergenerational poverty. That's a slow death.
No.
When anytime an officer can pull up and murder you and get millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, and a paid leave for killing you, something's wrong with that picture. Oh, don't say this because they're going to do that. Oh, don't do this. You're going to get us. What? They're killing us already.
They're killing us.
And that's not.
What? They're killing our children already. What? They're kicking us out. Illegal population transfers. That's not no gentrification. That's internal displacement. The same way internal displacement occurs in Africa, it's going on right here. So what you got to be scared of? If you scared, get the hell out of the way.
No cow was
These
left.
old heads, and wait a minute, these so-called revolutionary old heads, because it didn't work out for you for whatever reason, if you're afraid, get the hell out of the way. Get down, as Medea say, and let us take this ball and take us on in the nationhood. Get the fuck out of the way.
Not the way. I love this sister. You got a show coming up. I don't want you to miss it. But I
Girl,
need you to come down off this high.
I've been sitting out here raising hell with you. I got to put this show off hour. So let me get this. But
Well,
look,
listen, she has a show coming up, y'all, on Facebook. Where are you gonna do the show?
I'm gonna do it on Blog Talk Radio. I put the number up in a minute. I'm gonna get ready for it. Now I think I got like a few more minutes, but I've been raising
get
hell
ready,
with
babe.
you all.
Get ready. You already know how we gotta get ready. We gotta get ready.
Girl, look, now I gotta send out for pizza and shit.
That's why them babies, they want to eat. Listen, take care of your family, my sister, because
No. They are. Look, we are. Hey, I already got that. Did that.
It's done.
But
I'm saying take some time out and give
Well,
that.
I didn't have my nose bleed today. You know, I get so pissed off, my nose started bleeding.
I know, because
So I have to take a break. That's how mad I get.
you've been in this fight a long time. And the fact that you know what's happening out here, and the fact that they won't allow our people to even hear they won't let you, they won't even let us, we don't have a media. So that, and when Bill Cosby tried to give us one, and they did what they did to him, they've got these other medias out here, but they're not gonna say anything about Grandmaster Jay, let alone the Afro descendants, or anything that has to do with us as these people here in this place, America, that they've turned into the United States. So I thank you so much, Sister Porter. Listen, we got to do this again, because it's like we don't do this often enough. I'm going to put this up on my YouTube. Let's make a date. Let's make a date to do it again on a Friday, if possible. It's probably best. I know I got a lot of stuff going on, but I got some other things that are in the fire. So with my business, I'm trying to get that off the ground. And when that happens, I think we can trade. Now, as far as you are concerned, her business is international law. It's also regular law. Sister Porter's also, and she's got some accolades that I didn't talk about. She's also worked with the Atlanta child murders. She's also done a lot of other work that we haven't talked about. So she's got many accolades that we're not discussing here.
And I don't go out here and I don't advertise what I do. I like to work in the background, you know, and that's what I do. And when I build relationships, I build long-lasting relationships. That's why we created the Pendo Center for Human Rights. Our people need a place to come to feel safe to ask questions.
That's right.
Because you don't know what another person knows, or you haven't studied that body of information. That doesn't make you less of a person.
That's right.
Yes.
And she
doesn't
has
make you
the
less of a person.
to make this information affordable to you.
That's right.
She's not charging you like the attorneys charge. All she's asking is for people to give the donations, and if you have the money, you know, we're gonna do this on a merit system. If you've got the money, don't be like them crabs in the bucket. Don't be greedy. If you support your Black business, don't be trying to get less from them because they Black. You know, support your Black businesses. I pay extra when I go eat, you know, Lindiana soul food vegan. I pay extra because, you know, and it's not like I got a bunch of money, but I pay extra because that's a Black business, and that person is willing to give back. I know. I've talked to them, tried and true. So look for my products, especially the possibility of my CMOS over at Lindiana's as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, joining in. I see I got a few people that just got back, that just joined us. Go back and watch the whole video. Also, the Zoom is going to come up on my YouTube. I'm not going to post the Zoom on Facebook. I'm not giving Facebook any of this right here. They treated me pretty bad. So, yeah, over to the YouTube. Peace to anything you wanted to add, Sister Porter?
Well, sis, I think I've said enough, and I'm done with what I've said. I'm going to be going through my Facebook and deleting some people. I'm going to get ready to restructure a lot of things the way that I do. I have been learning how to navigate Instagram and different things like that, but I'm getting ready to lock some things down. So I'm going to be doing a lot of deleting, and people that are of no merit to this movement will be removed, and they will know who they are.
We'll need you tagging along, trying to see what we're doing. And you can stalk us from afar.
Oh, yeah. So it's time to, you know, to make a long story short, it's time for us to get serious about nation building, or we don't need to be doing anything. We need to just stop and just
Lay down and
go away peacefully.
just let them just lay down and let them cut you open and eat you. Really, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Go quietly into the good night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So with that being said, sister, you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to go get this show started. Will you be joining us later on?
I will be joining you. I'm on bells and I'm on pins and needles waiting.
Okay, so let me go get started.
All right, darling. Peace, peace.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.